Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. This is your host Ram welcoming you to your daily cricket show, Cricket Happenings. And on this cricket show, it was the start of the first test of the series between Australia and Pakistan. It was played, it was a day night test match, the first ever day night test match happening at the Gabba Cricket Ground in Australia. And it was played with a pink ball, the Kookaburra pink ball. So Australia, well, they started off on a strong note on the first day of the first test match against Pakistan with the Australian captain Stephen Smith reeling off a century, and he's still there unconquered on 110. Keeping him company is Handscombe, who has a maiden 50, and this is all not a maiden 50, it's his second 50 in test cricket in back-to-back test matches. He had one against South Africa, and now here he is unbeaten on another 50 against Pakistan. And definitely Matt Renshaw also contributed in a very good manner as he got 71 runs scored, and Australia were sitting pretty, one could say, at 288 for 3 on the first day of the first day-night test match between against Pakistan at the Wollongabba Cricket Ground here in Brisbane. So probably we are just 1.5 hours away from a match getting underway on the second day, as I am just bringing you this match summary of the match that happened yesterday of the first day's play. And also there is also one more very significant test match coming up today, and the significant test match that is coming up is going to be the final test match of the tour, the final test match between India and England, which is going to be played at Chepauk in Chennai. Now Chennai, as you know, recently had a cyclone coming in, so one is really waiting to watch as to what really is going to transpire on the pitch. And the reason this particular match is very significant is that there are two icons, I would say, of Indian cricket almost going towards glory, but whether they can reach it, that remains to be seen. Virat Kohli requires another 135 runs more in the series to get the most number of runs in a series by an Indian in Test cricket, which currently stands in the name of the former captain and commentator right now, Sunil Gavaskar, who scored 774 runs in the 70-71 series against the West Indies. And also Ravichandran Ashwin, who has been actually spinning the Englishman in this particular series, requires another 9 wickets to have the most number of wickets by an Indian bowler in a 5-match test series. So both are really proceeding towards some real landmarks, but one has to see 135 runs, so Kohli has to score a century here to take them. So that is the most significant part of it, and if at all England can actually have a consolation win here, they would be very glad about it. But let's start off with the match stumps on day one. Australia against Pakistan on the first day of the first test match. The toss was won by Australia, and there was no hesitation on the part of the Australian captain Stephen Smith to actually bat first. It all started with the bowling of Mohammad Amir and Rahat Ali opening the attack. Mohammad Amir took his time to settle down, but bowled a decent line. Rahat Ali was definitely getting some movement on the pitch. I mean, he was getting the ball to swing, and Matt Renshaw and David Warner had to be a bit cautious. That's what they precisely did. But David Warner started off in a very, very belligerent fashion as he actually stroked Rahat Ali for a boundary the very first ball he faced. And Matt Renshaw, he was just continuing from where he left off against South Africa, where we all know now that Matt Renshaw is a very solid opener. He knows where his off stump is, so he was pretty clear about leaving the balls outside the off stump to harmlessly go into the gloves of the wicketkeeper Sarfaraz Ahmed. And also one saw that Matt Renshaw is predominantly a leg side player, because he likes to actually play through the mid-on and mid-wicket region. He also collected a lot of runs through that region, where I thought probably the Pakistani bowlers actually feeded him a lot. And as far as his offside game is concerned, well, he's more of a, I mean, we saw that majority of the runs that he scored was in the mid-on and mid-wicket region, where he used his wrist to maneuver the ball through the gaps. And Matt Renshaw was definitely, he was playing with lots of confidence, and why not, after playing very well in the final test against South Africa, Matt Renshaw really carried it forward and picked up his maiden 50 in test cricket as he scored 71. As this partnership was going on, and in fact the captain Misbah ul Haq was probably eyeing the fact that there was nothing that the pace bowlers were able to really come up with, and even David Warner, to a certain extent, we thought that he was playing in a very sedate manner yesterday, as he decided to press his spinner Yasir Shah to see whether there will be some purchase for him. But Yasir Shah, one thought, the commentators were also talking about it, he had a sort of a field where one thought whether that was the right way to actually bowl, but nevertheless the partnership went on, and in the opening partnership had reached 70 runs, and which was slow going by the standards, but as a test match with David Warner at the crease, probably one would expect more runs to be scored. But then finally the first wicket fell when Mohammad Amir picked up the wicket of David Warner. David Warner was shaping to flick a delivery, and he was wrapped on the pads, and David Warner was the first victim. LBW bowled Mohammad Amir for 32 with 2 boundaries, made it 70 for 1. Usman Khwaja was dismissed very cheaply, as Usman Khwaja attempted a sort of a very forceful stroke against the bowling of Yasir Shah, and Misbah ul Haq poached the catch. He was gone for 4, which made it 75 for 2. Matt Renshaw was entrenched there in the middle, as Stephen Smith, the Australian captain, came out. The Australian captain definitely would be very happy that he was actually dropped by Sarfaraz Ahmed. Not good glove work by Sarfaraz Ahmed, one thought. That catch should have been snapped up, but Sarfaraz Ahmed definitely did an error there, and I would say Pakistan really paid dearly for that lapse, as Stephen Smith started digging himself in, and Matt Renshaw was at the other end, and they had with the Stephen Smith support, the score, there was a bit of a momentum into the innings, as Stephen Smith played some nice offside strokes, as is his wont, and at the other end Matt Renshaw was confidence personified, as the score started steadily moving on, and 76 runs were added for the third wicket to just improve the situation as that was going on. And then Wahab Riaz came in and got a ball which left Matt Renshaw, and Matt Renshaw played into the hands of Sarfaraz Ahmed behind the wickets, as Matt Renshaw, after contributing 71 with 9 boundaries, departed, which made the score 151 for 3. Stephen Smith, after that lapse, was really looking pretty good, Nick. He was dealing with the bowlers in a very, very nice manner, as Peter Handscombe joined him in his second test match. Peter Handscombe came in, well, I wouldn't say it was a very convincing start for Peter Handscombe. He was a bit shaky, and he was not really he was probably not timing the ball as well as one would have expected, as Handscombe joined hands with Smith, and slowly the partnership started building, and Peter Handscombe took his time, but later on we saw Peter Handscombe also played some nice strokes too, played some good pull shots. Stephen Smith, as I said, he was roaring along very nicely, as the partnership started really carrying on in a wonderful manner, as the score went on to 288 at close of play. In fact, the new ball was claimed, but the new ball was just claimed, so the ball is fairly new now in this day-night test match on the second day, and Pakistan will be hoping that they can get there some quick breakthroughs here. And Stephen Smith at stumps on day 1 was not out on 110, his 16th century in test cricket. He had 16 delectably timed boundaries in the knock of 110. Handscombe had got his second consecutive 50 in test matches. In fact, As you know, Handscombe scored a half century against South Africa as well. Now he came on and got his second half century, and nevertheless, as I said, it was not a very convincing innings, but one could really take that because he offered great company to Stephen Smith. As Stephen Smith went on to his century, and Handscombe remained not out on 64 with 8 boundaries. As stumps on day 1, Australians just thanks to that lapse by Sarfraz Ahmed behind the stumps, finished at a very good score of 288 for 3. So good start to the series for the Aussies on the first day of the day-night test match. And I'm also told that Stephen Smith, considering the first-class matches too, Stephen Smith has the most number of centuries by any batsman in day-night test cricket. So probably one can say that Stephen Smith likes the pink ball more than the white ball, one could say. As far as bowling was concerned, Mohammad Amir bowled a decent line, 18 overs, 6 minutes, 40 runs and 1 wicket. Rahat Ali, 19 overs, 4 minutes, none for 69. In the initial spell, one thought Rahat Ali was very good. He got the ball to move in a bit, but later on one thought his line went a bit awry. Yasir Shah barring that wicket that he took of Khwaja, 31 overs, 5 minutes, 1 for 97, nothing to really talk about. Wahab Riaz, 15 overs, 3 minutes, 1 for 52, also bowled well. And Azhar Ali bowled 7 overs, none for 28. So I think the ball is fairly new, and one would be hoping, Australia or Pakistan would be hoping that they can get a good breakthrough, and especially if they could get the wicket of Stephen Smith, that would really stand them in good stead, so that Australia don't march on to a very big total. But and as you know, this is something now one is really remembering what Mickey Arthurs, the coach of the Pakistan cricket team, said. He said if Pakistan can dismiss the Australians for 280-300, but now that is absolutely a far off case, with Nick Maddinson still in the hut to come, and Nick Maddinson will be glad that he has to come only today, and Nick Maddinson would be really waiting for this opportunity to show that he really is a very good talent in the making. So that is as far as, so as I said, the ball is fairly new and they would be looking for a quick breakthrough. On the other hand, the Aussies will be looking out for a huge total today to put the pressure on the Pakistanis, with probably Stephen Smith eyeing a double century and Handscombe probably eyeing a maiden test century for himself. Well, dear fan subscribers, that is as far as the first day's play is concerned. As I said while I'm talking to you, probably we are 1 hour and 15 minutes away from the second day's play getting underway in the day-night test match between Australia and Pakistan. Now, the other thing that I'm going to look at is a very brief preview of the India versus England clash, which is coming up, the final test match of the series. India are leading the series 3-0, and for England they would be looking out for a consolation win, and one knows that with the form and with the way India have been playing, that is going to be mighty difficult, and India will be probably still liking to put another wonderful record. As I said, in the last test match when they won, they equaled the record for the most number of wins, most number of consecutive wins, and now keeping that winning run, India would like to get the 18th win against England. And let's look at England first and see what they can really come up with. Well, for the good news for England here is that Stuart Broad is back. So that is the very good news that they would be taking, because he not only is a good bowler, but also he can bat as well. He is considered an all-rounder. Now, as far as England are concerned, Keaton Jennings, the other day, he on his debut he scored a century, so that would have given him a lots of confidence, but he would have known that, test cricket is not so easy after getting a blob in the second innings. So Alistair Cook and Keaton Jennings would be hoping for a very good start. Joe Root, Moeen Ali. Joe Root has been doing his job. Probably one is expecting a big knock from Joe Root. Moeen Ali probably needs to get some runs. He has been struggling, to my opinion. Johnny Bairstow, he has been doing a wonderful job for his team. Ben Stokes probably could do a bit better than what he has been doing. Josh Butler needs to contribute much more, one could say, and the bowling would be in the hands, and James Anderson is not there in the team because of an injury, so he's out of the test match. Stuart Broad would be partnering most likely Jake Ball. So Jake Ball figures in the side. So Jake Ball and Stuart Broad will be opening the bowling attack, and then they have the Adil Rashid, the leg spinner. So whether tomorrow we would be seeing the left arm spinning all-rounder Liam Dawson in action, that remains to be seen. Likely to, they say that Liam Dawson is likely to get a debut, but one has to wait and watch as to whether that really happens. But looking at the pitch, as I said, the Chennai pitch, there was a cyclone recently here in Chennai, so one does not know, we just gone through a cyclone, what one could really predict about this pitch. Clearly, they said that there was some moisture in the pitch, so there could be some seam movement, and that would be really, really interesting. The English swing bowlers, and also, and let us also remember that Ravichandran Ashwin's hometown is Chennai, and he needs 9 wickets to have the most number of wickets by an Indian bowler in a test series. And if that is something that Ravichandran Ashwin is able to do, there could not be a more prouder, the record stands in the name of a former great Indian bowler, a freak bowler one could call him. He was Bhagavat Chandrasekhar, who had taken 35 wickets against England in 1972. Now Ashwin has 27 wickets in this series. It's a matter of just taking another 9 wickets. If he can do that, he would have blazed a trail, according to me. Virat Kohli, as I said, already garnered 640 runs from 4 tests in this series. 135 would be required from him. Once he does that, he would be past the golden record of Sunil Gavaskar, which has been standing for quite a long time. In 1971, when Sunil Gavaskar was the former great batsman, Sunil Gavaskar was an youngster. He made 774 runs against the might of the West Indies bowling in 1971. So that is something Kohli would be eyeing. He needs 135 runs, and once he gets that, that's another landmark. So it's a very significant test match for India, whether Kohli and Ashwin can reach that mark. Ashwin would be very glad that he would be bowling on his home turf, and I have a feeling that Ashwin will be quite deadly on this Chennai pitch. But again, as you know, once the rain, there will be a lot of rain falling in Chennai, and also it gets a bit cloudy in the evening, so probably there would be some nice seam movement, and also there could be a lot of spin too as the pitch dries up with the sun coming and shining brightly. So that could also quite happen, but one has to really wait and watch before I say anything. India, they are looking good. Rahul is back, so KL Rahul and Vijay will be opening the innings. It won't be Parthiv Patel. Rahul would be back. He would be hoping to score some lot of runs, because he has been a bit short of runs with the opportunities. Pujara, Virat Kohli has already spoken about. Karun Nair is another one who is gunning for some runs, because whatever opportunities he has got, he has muffed it, and now it's time for him to really get some runs under his belt. Ashwin has been, we are already talking about Parthiv Patel, and then the bowling, Jayant Yadav has proved that he's a great, is going to be a very good utility all-rounder for India in the future. Ravindra Jadeja, as I said, we are stocked with India is stocked with all-rounders. Ravindra Jadeja, Jayant Yadav, Ravichandran Ashwin, and the bowling would be Ishan Sharma is back. He is married and he is back, and Bhuvneshwar Kumar definitely did a good job, but looking at the conditions, one would be prompted to see Umesh Yadav is also doing a fine job. So I sincerely have the feeling that India will probably retain the same combination. Ishan Sharma probably has to wait to actually get into the Indian Test team. Well, that's it, dear. And on a very short note, as you know, Bangladesh are going to be playing on a very tough tour of New Zealand, where they're going to play T20s, 2 Test matches, 1-day internationals. And one would have known that there was a player by the name Nick Broom who was there from the New Zealand team. He has made a sort of a comeback, one could say, into the New Zealand team. I don't have much time to dwell on anything. That's about it, dear fans and subscribers, as far as this daily cricket show goes today. There'll be more of it tomorrow on my next Cricket Happening show. Until that happens, it's good night.